Hello students, in this lesson let us study about the surface drainage. So the water falls on the surface in the form of either rain or snow, right? The rainfall record are helpful in estimating the rainfall intensity that can be experienced to occur during a certain interval of time. So the short duration rainfall producing high intensity of rain, and the pavements are generally designed for the maximum intensity of the rain for 1 hour period, which is not likely to occur more than once each year in a particular area where the airport is located. So it is thus assumed that the airport will temporarily remain out of use once each year for a very short duration when this maximum intensity of rainfall will occur, right? So the surface drainage topic we have to study under 5 headings. The first one is we have to understand what are the objective of providing surface drainage, then what is the time of concentration, then how to estimate the runoff, then what is the design procedure for developing the surface drainage system, and then finally the layout of the surface drainage. So to get started with, the first one is the objective of the surface drainage. Right, to have a economic feasibility we have to have certain objectives. So let us list out one by one what are these. The first one is that it should be practical. I mean, we have to practically be able to carry out the usual airport operation under all weather condition when a surface drainage is given, right? The second one is the removal of the surface water from the storms having values greater than the design storm should be such that we can have minimum damage to the airfield facilities that are there. Okay, the next one, the next objective is that the surface water should be collected and removed in such a way that very least interruptions is caused either to your normal traffic or subsoil is not saturated and the damage to the airfield facility is not caused. So we have to make sure we take care of all these things. Then the fourth one is that the system should be designed in such a way that it can be extended smoothly in future without any interruption to the normal airport traffic. Right, and the final one, the final objective is that the system should result in minimum maintenance and operational cost. So these are some of the very important objectives of going for the surface drainage. Next thing that we have to study is the time of concentration. Now as the rain falls on the ground, all the area to be served by the sewer does not start to contribute immediately, right, to the flow of the sewer, but it will build up gradually one after the other. So how it will build or what follows is in this way. The first one is the area that is just near to the sewer line will start contributing first, right? So it will go on increasing as more and more area starts to contribute. The sewer line capacity will go on increasing as more area is going to be covered, right? Next, second is when the whole area starts contributing to the flow of the sewer, the maximum limit of flow will be attained. Maximum limit of flow. And this normally this maximum limit of flow will be equal to the rate of precipitation of rainwater. Basically how much of rainwater is falling, that much will be equal to the maximum limit of the flow of drainage, right? Then thirdly, the maximum flow continues until your storm stops. So until the storm stops, the flow will continue. Actually the maximum flow will continue. So The flow then gradually falls down as the area near the sewer line stops contributing firstly, right? Well, flow continues to come to considerable time from the distant area. Normally, the total time required, so this is an important point which we have to remember. So, total time required by the flow to reach to the maximum limit is known as your time of concentration. Okay, a very important point. Now, this time of concentration is divided into two parts. The first part is the time of entry, and the second part is the time of flow. Now, what is this time of entry? This is the time required by the storm to reach the upmost inlet of the sewer line. So, time required by the storm water to reach the upmost or uppermost inlet of the sewer line. Now, the value of the time of the entry will depend upon many circumstances. The major one being the size, shape, and slope of the area. So, various authors have given different values for the time of entry, right? The standard ones are, so LOD Davis gave the time of entry for the paved surface to be 1 to 3 minutes. Then your Honor gave the time of entry for the paved surface to be between 2 to 5 minutes. And according to Metcalfe and Eddy, so it is assumed to be somewhere around 3 to 20 minute. Appleby recommended the time of entry to be somewhere around 7 to 15 minute. So thus extreme care is to be taken to assume the proper value of the time of entry. So normally the standard what we use is 1 minute for every 6 meter length is the standard value which we have to assume for the time of entry, right? So this is all about the time of entry. Moving on to the time of flow. So this is the time taken by the storm water to flow down the sewer up to a particular point. Okay, flow down the sewer up to a particular point. So again, this depends upon the length, size, slope, smoothness of sewer. So here it is area. For the time of entry it is the area. For the time of flow it is the sewer, right? So the time of flow can be easily determined by applying the principle of hydraulics. So if the velocity of the flow and the distance is known, your time of flow will be equal to distance to be traversed by the velocity of flow. Okay, so normally the addition of the time of entry with the time of flow will give us the time of concentration. So this is a very important factor in the design of this stormwater sewer, because it is in fact that out of all the storm of equal frequency of occurrence, the storm which has the duration equal to the time of concentration will produce the maximum flow in the sewer. Okay, so this is about the time of concentration. So the next one is the estimation of runoff. So the quantity of water that will enter sewer is to be carefully determined. So it will involve various factors such as the intensity of rainfall, the characteristics of the catchment area in which the rainfall is to be collected, right? Characteristics of catchment area, then the duration of storm, etc. So the rational method is generally adopted for the estimation of the runoff for the airport surface drainage system. So this is the method we use. So in the rational method, there are three characteristics or factors we can say that are combined to form this rational method equation. The first one is the catchment area. We can call it as capital A. The second one is the impermeability factor or impermeability factor of the surface in which the catchment area is given, and this is given as capital I. And the third point or factor is the intensity of rainfall. So we can call it as capital R. So the general equation will be Q. Q is the runoff for the area or from the area. Okay, Q is given by KAIR. So this runoff is in meter cube per second, right? This area is in hectares. Area, catchment area we have already written. So what is I? Impermeability factor of the surface. So we have written here already in 2, and then R is the intensity of the rainfall, and this either we give in mm per r. So normally the unit what we use here is mm per r. So these are the units we have to consider. Okay, and in all of this K is nothing but constant which permits the expression of these three factors in convenient units, right? So Q can be written as 10,000 A into I into 1 divided by 1000 into 1 divided by 3600 R, that is nothing but AIR by 360. So what is the value of K from this? 1 by 360. So some quantity of rainwater that falls on the ground is absorbed by soil, and the percentage of the rainwater that enters the sewer is known as the impermeability factor. So some of the standard impermeability factors are given in this particular table based on the type of surface. You can see there are 14 types. So water type, roof and such other covering surfaces will have a impermeability factor of 0.7 to 0.9. Like that we have the 14 factors, standard values of the I value. Okay. Normally what we have to do is, for finding out the impermeability factor or impermeability of the area, impermeable area is normally given as A1I1 plus A2I2 plus A3I3 and so on. This is nothing but summation of AI. So capital I is nothing but a summation of AI by capital A. This is impermeable area. So that divided by the total area. So what is this capital I? It is your average impermeability factor of the whole area. So basically your airport will have all different areas, right? So for every area, what is the impermeability factor that we have to do, and sum up all the areas, then divide this by the total area, you will get the average impermeability factor for the entire area. Now what is A here? A is your total catchment area, right? If you want to write what are your small a's, it is the areas of different surfaces, right? And then your small I is the corresponding impermeability factors. Okay, so this is how you will calculate the runoff, because that is one of the important factor for which you have to design your sievers. Next, we will see how or what is the design procedure of the sievers. Okay, there are majorly 4 steps adopted. So the step 1 is that the proposed arrangement of sewer should be worked out, right? Then in the step 2, the runoff is estimated for every sewer by applying the suitable value of time of concentration, intensity of rainfall, nature of topography, and things like that. So what all we should consider when we are estimating the runoff? Time of concentration, intensity of rainfall, nature of topography, right? Then the step 3 is a suitable value of velocity of flow should be determined. Okay, velocity of flow determination. Normally the minimum self cleansing velocity, self cleansing is nothing but all the water should itself go into the drainage, that is nothing but your minimum self cleansing velocity. This should be around 75 centimeters per second. This is what we have to assume, so that sufficient scoring action will take place and silting will not become a problem, right? Then finally the step 4 is that you have to estimate the section of sewer. So how do you estimate? The quantity of sewer is generally given by area of sewer multiplied by the velocity of flow. That is how you will calculate, right? And final step, that's your step 5, is to determine the slope of sewer line. So what we have to do is longitudinal sections of each sewer lines are drawn for a suitable scale, and the sections show the invert level and all the sewer apparatus. Normally, the main factor which influence the flow of storm water are conditions of the flow, cross-section area of the sewer, roughness of the interior surface, slope of the sewer, etc. So there are various empirical formulas, charts, diagrams and graphs which are used for the design of the sewers. Okay, finally it is the layout of the surface drainage. So normally the water that is coming out of the drainage area is collected into the storm drain by means of your inlets. So the structure of the inlet will consist of a concrete box, and the top of which is covered by a grating which is made up of either your cast iron or cast steel or reinforced concrete. So we have to make sure that this grating is able to support the aircraft wheel load And also the location of the inlet will depend upon the configuration of the airport and on also the grading plan. Very important. So the inlet's position or location will depend upon configuration of airport and the grading plan. So if there is a taxiway parallel to the runway, the inlets are placed in the valley between your runway as well as the taxiway. Say this is your runway, this is your taxiway. Say in between we will be placing the inlet. So if there are no parallel taxiway, the drains are normally provided at the edge of the runway pavement near the toe, and the slope graded area is given to it. Then when it comes to the apron, the inlets are generally placed in the paved force, as there is no one way to drain a large area. However, all grading should be securely fastened to the frame so that they will not become loose when the traffic is passing on it. Right. So the finished grade contour map of the runway, taxiway and the apron is extremely helpful for the layout of the Stromdane system for your airfield. So it is quite likely that the several trial drainage layouts must be necessary before the selection of the most economical system which can be selected or recommended. Right. So we have to make many layout plans and then finally decide on to one layout plan. So this is all about the surface drainage in case of airport. So hope the lesson is clear to you. Thank you.